Today we are going to be reviewing the three different types of graphs that we learned about and how to measure to the nearest half inch and a quarter of an inch. So first we're going to start off with pictographs. For a pictograph, it is a graph that shows the data using little pictures, and the picture is usually the same thing, and there's also a key to help you interpret the data correctly. So this pictograph, if you read the title, it says teacher's favorite ice cream flavors. And the different ice cream flavors are chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, or chocolate chip cookie dough. Then we have number of people. So how many people had chocolate, for example, as their favorite flavor. But the most important thing to remember on pictographs is to look down here at the key. Because typically on a pictograph, like for example, this is a picture of an ice cream cone, this ice cream cone represents two people. So if I had two ice cream cones here for chocolate, that means that four people had chocolate as their favorite flavor. So let's go through and complete our pictograph. So for example, we have chocolate. There are 6 people who like chocolate. Remember, our key is one ice cream cone equals 2 people. So to show those 6 people, we would only have 3 ice cream cones. For vanilla ice cream, we have 4 people like vanilla. So we only need 2 ice cream cones to show that. For strawberry, 4 people like strawberry. So we need 2 ice cream cones to show that. For chocolate chip cookie dough, we have 10 people who like chocolate chip cookie dough. So we need 5 ice cream cones to represent that. So I'm going to ask you now a couple of questions based off of this pictograph that you see. First of all, what flavor of ice cream did most people like? That would be chocolate chip cookie dough. Nice job. What 2 flavors did the least amount of people like? Vanilla and strawberry, because they only had 2 ice cream cones each, or 4 people each. Now, one more question before we keep going. What is the difference between the number of people that like chocolate and the number of people that like vanilla? So you're going to figure out how many people like chocolate. 2, 4, 6, and then we have 2 and 4. So you're going to be doing 6 minus 4, which is 2. Next, we learned about bar graphs. So what is a bar graph? A bar graph is a graph that uses bars that are different lengths or heights to show data. So this bar graph shows animal lifespans. If you look up at the title up here. And then this is the different types of animals. We have a lion, a hamster, a kangaroo, and a rabbit. And then this shows how long those animals live for. And then over here has the table that has the data kind of written out in numbers versus the bar graph. Okay? So let's answer some questions. How many fewer years does the hamster live than the kangaroo? Okay, well, we need to figure out how many years does a kangaroo live for. So here's where it says kangaroo, and this line kind of ends up right in the middle of 6 and 4. What number is in the middle of 6 and 4? 5. You're right. So we have 5 minus how many people like, or how long does a hamster live for? Excuse me. Hamster lives for 2 years. So we need to do 5 minus 2. The hamster lives for 2 years. Kangaroo is 5 years. So 5 minus 2 is 3. The hamster lives 3 fewer years than the kangaroo. Next, we're going to move on to line plots. So remember, a line plot is where you have those X's to show your data. So on this example, this table here shows the letters in number of letters in siblings' names. So one person has a sibling that has 2 letters in it, right? Nobody has a sibling that has 3 letters in their name. 2 people have a sibling that has 4 letters in their name, and so on. So we're going to take this information and put it onto our line plot using an X. So the first number that we're looking at is 2. And only one person had a sibling that had 2 letters in their name. Now let's look at 3. There's nobody that had a sibling with 3 letters in their name, so we're not going to put an X above 3. Now 4, there were 2 people that had a sibling that had 4 letters in their name, so we're going to put 2 X's above the 4. For the 5, we are going to put another 2 X's above there. How many X's do you think we're going to put above 6? We're going to put 1. You're right. And 7, how many for 7 do you think? We're going to do 2. Good job. Let's move on to measuring to half of an inch. So first of all, again, what is a half of an inch? A half inch is one of 2 equal parts of 1 inch. There are 2 half inches in 1 inch. So if you take a look at this ruler here, from 0 to 1 is 1 inch. But we took a line and split it right here, this small little blue line, halfway in between. So this is 1/2 and this is 1/2. So from 0 to this line here in the middle, that's a half of an inch right there. Let's measure a ruler here and also a graham cracker. So for the ruler, oh my goodness, an eraser and a graham cracker. Geez Louise. Okay, for the eraser, that kind of lines up right here on our ruler. So how long is that ruler, do you think? It's about 2 inches long. Nice work. Now this graham cracker, when we line it up to a ruler, it lands about here. So that's in between the 2 and the 3. It's about halfway in between. It's bigger than the 2, but smaller than the 3. So the whole number is going to be 2, but what is the fraction going to be? It's going to be half. So this graham cracker is about 2.5 inches. Lastly, we're going to quickly talk about measuring to 1/4 of an inch. So what is a 1/4 of an inch? A 1/4 of an inch is one of 4 equal parts of 1 inch. There are 4 1/4 inches in 1 inch. Remember to count the spaces, not the lines. So again, from 0 to 1 is a whole inch. Then we just talked about this line right here in the middle. That shows half right here. But half, so if we take that half and then cut it in half again, then we get 1/4. So right here is 1/4, and let's actually show you with a picture. So there's 1/4. Then we have 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4, or 1 whole. So let's figure out, how long do you think this Band-Aid is? Well, it hits about here on our ruler, right? So it's larger than 2, it's longer than 2 inches, but it's less than 3 inches. So our whole number for our measurement is going to be 2. We need to figure out what the fraction is. Let's start by finding half. Where's halfway in between 2 and 3? That would be right here. So then this is half of a half, which is 1/4. So this fraction is, this Band-Aid is about 2 1/4 inches long. One more example here. We have this stamp. This stamp, it's about there on our ruler. So let's figure out how long this stamp is. So it's in between the 1 inch and the 2 inch mark on the ruler. It's larger than 1 inches, but smaller than 2 inches. So let's find half. Where's halfway in between 1 and 2? Half is like right here. So it's me half of a half, which is 1/4. Let stamp is about 1 1/4 inches long. I hope you enjoyed your review for today. Tomorrow is your test. If you have any questions on any of this material, please ask for help, and I'd be more than happy to help you. Have a great day.